Hello guys, how are you doing today? Welcome back to my channel. It's so good to have you here. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you how to make profit from real estate without buying properties. Recently, we've discussed about how to buy your first real estate property, how to invest in real estate, different strategies in terms of location and all the things that you need to know about investing in real estate. If you have missed any of these videos, I'll link them in the description box. Ensure that you check them out. Before we go into the video, I'd like to appeal to you to kindly subscribe to my channel. The subscribe button is the red button you can find on your screen. Kindly hit that button and the like button as well. That's the thumbs up button. With this, YouTube gets to recommend this video to more people across YouTube and they can be part of the family, and I so very much appreciate you for that. Thank you so much. Without further ado, let's get into the content of today. So many people don't want to deal with the hassles of managing tenants or even go through the rigors of signing lots of documents to buy real estate properties, even the management and all of the expenses that comes with it. Like one of the videos we shared recently, we've discussed all the costs that you need to know when you're buying real estate properties, which are a whole lot. So if you don't want to deal with all of that and you still want to make money from real estate, there are ways to go about it. Or maybe you don't even have enough capital outlay to buy a real estate property by yourself. There are ways to still make money, from real estate. So the first way I'll be sharing with you today is called rental arbitrage. So rental arbitrage is a method of making money that people practice whereby they lease properties from homeowners, from like landlords. They lease houses from them. So instead of living in those houses, they list those houses on places like Vrbo, Airbnb, places, vacation homes like that, to make profit. And Airbnb in good location actually bring in revenue, lots of profit. So imagine in a good location where you are able to charge let's say $500 or $200 per night, and say in a month minimum you are able to do about 10 stays. So that's like $2,000 of cash per month. So imagine being able to rent about 10 properties from different landlords. That's almost like $20,000 per month. So this is what people do. And one of the benefits to this is because it is quite cheaper. The money you pay to rent a house is cheaper than how much you would invest to buy a property. So it's one of the ways that people make money. So rather than investing, say like 50, 60 or 70 or even 80K to pay down payment for a home, some people feel like, no, I'm not ready. Especially maybe if they already have their own homes or they are not even interested in owning properties at that point and they want to make money. So they do this, they spread their 80K across different properties, listing different properties and listing them on these platforms I mentioned. However, there's something you should know, that practicing rental arbitrage cannot be done everywhere. There are some places where it is illegal for you to do it. Some communities don't allow it because you can't do Airbnb in those locations. So before you go into it, before you list in some locations, you should make inquiries first. You also want to discuss with the landlord. Some landlords will not agree with you to place their homes on Airbnb, so it is not everywhere that you can do it. But for places where it is allowed, and also some places have HOA principles and laws against it, so you want to be sure that you are investing in the right location before you go ahead. Also, another way that I've seen people go into this is because there are so many places that might not allow you. So what you do is you want to like spread your tentacles, like send out applications to like different landlords. At the end of the day, let's say if you send applications to like 10 landlords, maybe like 5 of them will agree that okay, it's okay for you to list their properties and list on Airbnb. So with that, that okay, you have at least 5 properties with you. But another side to this that you should know is that it can be very stressful. So it's not really something you can do passively. It requires a lot of time, because time that you would invest in sending out applications to landlord, time you would invest in even setting up the Airbnb, because setting up Airbnb, you need to probably repaint, you need to buy furniture, you need to buy properties, also even the process of getting, you have to hire a professional photographer to take you good and nice pictures for advertisements on Airbnb, Vrbo, and all those places places. So it can really be time tasking. So you need to be sure that this is something that you have the energy and time for. Yeah, so that is rental arbitrage. Now let's go to the next one. Another way by which people profit from real estate without buying properties by themselves is crowdfunding through real estate investment platforms online. There are so many of them now, which I will share with you very soon. But with this is a method of like fundraising whereby individuals contribute money to buy a property or invest in a real estate project. It can be commercial projects, it can be residential, and different real estate investment platforms have their own methods of operating. Some allow you to see the properties that you're investing in. Some just, tell you, okay, this is how much you can buy a unit as low as maybe $100, $500, and you earn dividend or appreciation. Like an example is Fundrise. With Fundrise, you can invest as low as like $100. But with one thing you should also know is that with all of these, sometimes there are fees that you need to pay for using these platforms to invest. Like Fundrise will charge you advisory fee. I'm not exactly sure of how much the percentage is. I'll confirm and let you know. But I've tried Fundrise and I've done ground floor. With ground floor, you are able to see different properties with different interest rates. So they tell you these are properties that are available right now. Maybe developers are flipping projects. You are basically financing real estate projects with your money. You are not buying any of this property. You are financing related. So this project, like I said, it can be commercial, residential. They can even be like flipping or renovation projects. Like on ground floor, you can see lists of different projects that have their tenor and they have their interest rate. So they might say 10% for a 6-month project. So if you invest like say $500 at the beginning of that project, because that 10% you are seeing is not a flat rate, it is prorated for each day that your investment is still going on. So if you don't start from the beginning of the investment, you will definitely not receive your full 10%. So like I was explaining with ground floor, say 10% return is what you are getting on your $500. So that means at the end of 6 months, your returns will be like $550 that you would get if you have invested throughout the length of the project. So those are ways that people invest in real estate without buying property. So if you have idle funds, rather than putting idle funds in banks that probably don't even pay any interest at all, a good way will be to invest in some of these online platforms. However, you need to consider the length of time by which you are able to go without this money. Like if you don't need this money for a short term, maybe that's a good way to store your money. But if you are going to need your money for, let's say, next 3-6 months or so, you might not be able to go into all of this because some of them don't allow you to take out your money until, some will say until after the duration of the project. On some can even, I think for Fundrise, I'll confirm again, I think I'm mixing it up, but I think for Fundrise maybe until after like 5 years or something. If you don't do it in the first year, the next time I think you can will pull out is like in the next 5 years. So you need to understand the rules that come with all of these different crowdfunding platforms that we have right now. There's also Realty Fund. Yeah, I'll check the name again. I'll put it on the screen. So those are different platforms that which people can invest to earn rewards. So some pay, like Fundrise pay dividend. They pay quarterly dividend based on the amount that you invest. So one thing I've realized with this crowd investing platform is like, a lot of people feel like the interest rate is low, but I feel like the interest rate is still better compared to what you would obtain if your fund is just lying idle in a bank. That's why I would recommend that if you don't have a near use for your fund, rather than putting it in a bank, if you're able to find a high yield investment account to put it in, maybe it will be okay. But if not, then these are good ways for you to invest in real estate, because now you're also partaking in the real estate market. And if you have large sum of money as well, you can, but you need to understand all of the risk before you go ahead to pump in lots of money into all of these platforms. You need to understand how they are insured, so that if anything happens, how do you get your money back? So don't just pump in funds. So it's always good to carry out your research. Like I said, there are different crowdfunding platforms and all of them differ in the way that they operate, but these are legal ways to invest in real estate without buying properties. And the thing is also that risk is diversified, because now a lot of people are pulling funds together to invest in a property. So the risk that each person is bearing is quite low, rather than one person putting all of their funds in projects, and what if it fails? The risk and everything is just on that person. So that's another way. The next way through which people invest in real estate without buying property and they make money is through real estate investment trust. That's REIT. So REIT is a company that invests in real estate, income producing properties, income producing assets. So like commercial properties, residential properties, and there are a lot of them. Like the American Tower Company is a REIT. So they have different distinguishing criteria that they must meet to qualify as REIT. But what they do is they allow people earn dividend from real estate properties without necessarily having to buy properties or manage it themselves. So you invest in REIT just similar to the way you invest in stocks. So by buying stocks of this REIT and trading in their mutual fund and like ETFs, you earn dividends and in the long-term capital appreciation. So these are ways through which people also diversify their portfolios. So rather than investing only in physical assets, that's buying the properties yourself. Sometimes if you want a liquid form of investment in real estate, REITs are usually the way to go. Similar to the way you invest in mutual funds and ETF is the way you would invest in REITs. So you would earn a fraction or share of the income that that fund produces. So based on the percentage that you have invested is how much you would earn, and you can trade on them on similar major security platforms that would trade your shares. However, for the dividends that you are earning, you would need to pay taxes. Also for all the other ones that I've discussed before. So you always need to take cognizance of taxes when you're investing for any type of income that you're earning. So ensure that you abide by the law and pay taxes. So now the last way that I want to share with you today that people make money and that you can profit from real estate without buying properties is what is called wholesale real estate. Wholesale real estate, for me, I would say is a bit tasking. It requires some bit of effort, though you don't have to spend your money, unlike in rental arbitrage that I mentioned earlier. Even though you're not buying the properties, but you still need to spend some money to make the apartment look better, to put the apartment in the state that you want to have it available on the market. So you're spending money on like buying furnitures and all of that. But with wholesaling, you're not doing any of that. And what people deal with distressed properties majorly when it comes to wholesaling. So what happens is that you go into contract with a landlord for their properties. You ask how much you're interested in selling it. So with that contract, you then find buyers are interested in buying the property. So if the landlord has given you the price of the house to be, say for instance 50k, for the buyer you can then charge a higher fee, say like 60k, and so you are making the revenue that is the difference between the two prices. So that's like 10k for you. That is simply how you make money. So with this, you don't have to do anything on the property. You don't need to repaint or even make it better. It's different from you flipping houses. So in flipping houses, people would like buy distressed properties just like I mentioned before, and then would break it down. Some will break it down, some will like, okay, let's just refurbish some part of the house, renovate some part of the house, and then sell it off at a higher prices. But now in this case, you are basically connecting buyers and sellers, but you are now earning a revenue from it. You have entered a contract with the landlord, and then you're selling another contract to the buyer, and then you're earning the difference in the prices, and that is how much you go home with. So for me, this is interesting, but I don't think it is for everybody. If you're up for it, it's something you can do, because now the work is in looking for distressed properties, calling up landlords, looking for buyers. But these are good ways, legal ways that people are making money in real estate. So you can see that some of them require more effort than the others. The ones that are passive might be like investing in REITs, like I mentioned, and the crowdfunded opportunities. So just consider which of these you might be interested in, which one fits your lifestyle, and you should know that based on the one you're investing in, the risk and rewards will vary. Some of them, the more work you have to do, the more money that you would make. But if you are going to invest less money, then you should know that your rewards will not be as high as if you are investing more. So also the risk also varies. So you want to consider which one fits your lifestyle, which one suits your time more, and how much you are willing to invest in going for any of these options. So that's all I have to share with you today. I hope this has been very valuable to you. In case you have any questions, please leave them in the comment section below. And I would also love to hear from you. Which of these do you prefer? Which of these do you think is better? And what are your thoughts about these opportunities? Or if there's anyone that you also know about which people make money without buying properties, please, I would love to learn from you. Leave them in the comment section below and let us grow together. Cheers to an amazing 2023 where we're all thriving, succeeding, happy, in good health. So until I come away again next time, see you guys. Take care. Bye.